Coming up on Network Africa. Protesters in Cote d'Ivoire question President Ouattara's second-term bid ahead of the October the 25th elections. South African Tembo King sentenced to 12 years in jail for raping and kidnapping his subjects. And software developers in Africa lament the high cost of applying their ideas. Hello and welcome to Network Africa. I am Adeshewa Josh. It was light at the end of a seemingly bottomless tunnel as Ivory Coast, seen as the second largest economy in West Africa, began to experience economic boom shortly after it faced the deadliest civil war in 2011. Many analysts had said President Ouattara will face a difficult task of reviving the country's booming economy as seen in the 60s, with an IMF GDP growth forecast of 8.4% and listed as one of the top 10 World Bank's Doing Business Best Performers report 2 years in a row. It quickly became an investment hub for international investors. But all of these successes appears to be threatened by the wave of deadly protests in major cities across Ivory Coast, and protesters are frowning at President Ouattara's bid for another term in office ahead of the elections on October the 25th. Members of the opposition party, National Coalition for Change, took to the street of the economic capital Abidjan to question Ouattara's eligibility to stand for office and protest what they call political exclusion by the ruling party.
The claims are partly true, that there is an imbalance in the composition of the Electoral Commission. There are representatives of the current ruling coalition and representatives of the opposition, but there are also representatives of the institutions, including the president himself, the president of the parliament, who is obviously in favor of the current government, the current president. There are also two representatives of ministries, which are also in favor of the government, and so that creates an imbalance. I think it is likely that the president is going to win a second term because he doesn't have a strong challenger in front of him. The opposition is very divided, and so that helps him, being in a position of favorite for the election. He's likely to win in the first round because probably no candidate will have enough, votes to challenge him in the second round. But I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to see some localized violence here and there, as we have seen earlier this month with demonstrations. This shows that there is still a potential for political violence.
To discuss this matter further, I am now being joined live from Ivory Coast by Max Kana. He's a legal practitioner. Thanks for joining us on Network Africa, Max.
Yeah, good morning.
Well, Cote d'Ivoire has seen considerable progress under President Ouattara. What could be the reason for these protests?
I think the reason will be only about putting political pressure on President Ouattara. Because Article 35 of the Constitution is clear about it. The elected president can seek re-election once. So Ouattara was elected in 2010. They can run for a second term in 2015. So that is what is happening now. But as I said, this protest about political pressure, because the opposition wants to try everything so as to be able to challenge Ouattara on the political field. Yeah.
But then again, I mean, if I understand what you just said, that does the Constitution allow him to run for another term in office?
The Constitution is clear about it. Elected president can seek re-election once. Yeah, Article 35 of the Constitution of Cote d'Ivoire is clear about it.
How many terms, how many years makes a term in Cote d'Ivoire when it comes to...
Term.
Yes.
A term in Cote d'Ivoire is 5 years. Yeah.
Can he seek re-election after that? Can he seek re-election after that?
After this election, 2015 election?
Yes. Is he eligible for this election in 2015?
About the eligibility, I think that the Constitutional Court gave the list of the candidates who can run for this election. So we are not going to question the eligibility. But it's possible for Ouattara to run for this election according to the Constitution. Yes.
So, in this case, would you say these protests are politically motivated, or they're just a bunch of citizens who are not satisfied with the government of President Ouattara?
I think actually the recent protests are politically motivated, essentially. The reason is that the protest started after the list of the candidates was published. Yes. So Ouattara was on the list, and the objective of the opposition is to prevent Ouattara to be running for this election. Remember, in 2000, Ouattara was not able to run for the election because the Constitutional Court just denied him to run for the election. So that is why, on the basis of this decision of the Constitutional Court of 2000, the member of the opposition wanted the Constitutional Court to say was that on the basis of that previous decision, 2000 decision, Ouattara would have not been able to run for this election in 2015.
But let me also ask you, many have questioned the Ivory Coast Electoral Commission as playing to the rhythm of the government. They are saying that Ouattara has most of the government parastatals and agencies under his control. So, based on these allegations, are you optimistic about the fairness of the upcoming elections?
I think I'm an Ivorian, and my own opinion is that we should be optimistic about the fairness of the election. But it's clear that there is an imbalance in the composition of the commission, and most of the Ivorian they think that the current president of the commission was appointed just in recognition of what he did in 2010. Remember, the current president of the commission was the one who was the president of the commission in 2010. And Mr. Bakayoko announced the results of the 2010 election in Ouattara's campaign headquarters. So you understand that people doubt there is a doubt on his credibility, actually. They doubt that this man will be able to organize a free and fair election. So that is the main question about the commission, besides the fact that most of the parties of the opposition are not represented in the commission. So these are the two issues about this commission at the moment.
We will definitely keep our eye on this story and see how it develops. Thank you so much. Max Connor there for us, live from Ivory Coast. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.
Coming up on Network Africa, meteorologists in Kenya anticipate the devastating effect of the El Nino rain set to hit the country next month.